Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another video of Be the Best DFS Daily Fantasy Sports Talk. Today is Thursday, September 1st, 2016, and there are three games on the MLB slate for tonight, but I'm not going to talk about MLB. I want to know, are y'all ready for some football? Because I know I sure am. I'm ready to watch my Falcons make a Super Bowl run, and more importantly, I'm excited about this upcoming fantasy football season, daily fantasy and season-long fantasy as well. So tonight, I'm not going to talk about baseball. I'm going to talk about football. And to be honest with you, I've been struggling with baseball. The last time I put out a video, I believe it was on Tuesday. Kyle Hendricks, he did good for me, but the rest of my offense failed. I can't even remember what my lineup was. But I'm in a little slump in baseball right now. I did make a tournament lineup for tonight. I got Samardzija for the Giants. I got him as my pitcher, and I stacked the White Sox and some Twins. But like I said, I want to talk about football tonight. And tonight, we're 1 week away from the opening kickoff on September 8th between the Carolina Panthers and the Denver Broncos next Thursday. So I'm not going to talk about what players I like, but I'm going to talk about strategies and tips that I feel can help you be successful in DFS. So it's not going to be a long video, so I'm going to get started. This is for DraftKings and FanDuel. So for NFL DFS, I want to start off by talking about lineup building. So when you begin to make your lineup, you think, what's the most important position in your lineup? And in my opinion, the wide receiver is the most important position. A lot of people may think the quarterback, but the wide receiver is more important. Why? Because you have three wide receivers. A receiving touchdown on FanDuel and DraftKings is worth 6 fantasy points. A passing touchdown by a quarterback, that quarterback gets four fantasy points. So with the league being a passing league, the offenses aren't geared to like running the ball like it used to be. It's a pass first league. The rules are geared towards the offense. They don't let the cornerbacks touch the receivers. So with so many prolific wide receivers in today's game, I definitely believe receiver is the most important position. So when you're building your lineup, a lot of y'all probably already know this. Creating a wide receiver a quarterback wide receiver stack is a great way to start your lineup. They sent emails out, DraftKings and FanDuels, giving advice, and through the emails, what I read was that based on the numbers and the statistics, you were 2 times more likely to win if your lineup had a quarterback wide receiver stack. So, of course, my favorite quarterback wide receiver stack is Matty Ice and Julio Jones. But when you have those stacks in good matchups, it will be to your advantage to use them. So, Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Big Ben and Antonio Brown, Eli, Odell Beckham Jr., I would say Romo, but now Dak Prescott and Dez Bryant. The list goes on and on and on. So that's a good way to start off building your lineup. Find a good quarterback, wide receiver stat that you can put in there. After you get that in place, the next thing I think you should do is find your other 2 wide receivers. Look for number 1 receivers who going to get a lot of targets. Because, again, in my opinion, receiver is the most important position. So you look for matchups. Definitely think about who's the cornerback going to be on the other side of the defense, checking those wide receivers, and you fill in the wide receiver spots right there. And after that, you go to your running backs. Now, with running backs, I say look for running backs who are like the feature backs in offenses. A lot of these teams nowadays, they have a 2 running back system. But there are still some teams where it's only pretty much one running back who carries the workload. So look for running backs who have a lot of carries, and the offense, well, what I'm trying to say is they don't really have good receivers, and so they have to lean on their running backs. For example, We know Teddy Bridgewater just got hurt, and Minnesota really don't have good receivers in my opinion. So they're going to be leaning their offense more on the run with Adrian Peterson. So when he's in a good matchup, look to use those type of running backs. Also, good running backs to choose. I think running backs and offenses with mobile quarterbacks because of the read option threat. So I'm thinking like Tyrod Taylor. He's a mobile quarterback. So whenever LaShawn McCoy is in a good matchup, look for running backs like him. Russell Wilson, he's a mobile quarterback. So I think Thomas Rawls. So when you have that dual threat quarterback, it actually helps the running back out. So those are good running backs to look for. Tight ends, there aren't many good tight ends in my opinion. You got Rob Gronkowski for the Patriots. You got Jordan Reed for the Washington Redskins. Kelsey for Kansas City. There aren't that many good tight ends in my opinion. So unless they're in a good matchup, I wouldn't say spend a lot of money on your tight end position. And they're normally not priced that high anyway. Team defenses, which is on FanDuels and DraftKings. In my opinion, for team defenses, look for defenses that have a great pass rush, good defensive ends, good ends that can get after the quarterback. And I say that because a good pass rush, it translates to other things where you can get fantasy points. You can get sacks, of course. A good pass rush also can cause forced fumbles and fumble recoveries, and even it can cause bad passes and interceptions. So defense, special teams, sometimes it can be kind of tricky to pick, but it's all about matchups. And I think you should look for teams with a good pass rush because, like I said, it could lead to sacks, interceptions, forced fumbles, fumble recoveries, and get your fantasy points up for your lineup. Also with team defenses, I say look for teams playing at home, because they get the crowd support. The road team, the quarterbacks, with the loud crowd noise, they tend to mess up and throw interceptions and things like that. So that's why I say for team defense and special teams. And kickers, this is only on FanDuel, not on DraftKings. Kickers, it's a position that you don't want to overlook. Every position is important to try to get you some points to win some money. So in my opinion, consider where the game is being played at. If the game is being played in a dome, the weather won't impact the kicking game. So games being played at the Georgia Dome or Cowboy Stadium, or trying to think of some more domes. Ford Field, I think they have a retractable roof. So the Superdome in New Orleans. So look for where the game is being played at because kicking is just something you don't want to overlook. A kicker can get you 15 fantasy points if he kick 5 field goals. Another thing with kickers, it's a kind of tricky position to pick, but I'm going to say try to look for teams with a mediocre offense. And I say that because, of course, you don't want a team with a horrible offense because, your field goal kicker, they would never be in range to make any field goals. But you don't want a team with a great offense because great offenses, they score touchdowns all the time. And when they score touchdowns, your kicker is only going to get an extra point, 1 point compared to, a field goal, which can be 3, 4, or 5, depending on the distance. So when you get a mediocre offense, an offense that can move the ball down the field, but, have trouble, getting it in the end zone. Try to look for those teams when you're trying to decide on your kicker. I think that's definitely a good strategy to use when picking the kicker. Now, on DraftKings specific, the flex position. Please listen to me on this. It definitely will be beneficial and helpful for you, when you're playing in your lineups this season in football. For the flex position, when you make your lineup, put the player whose games start at the latest in that flex position. For example, for week 1, say you make a lineup and you have three running backs. You got Todd Gurley, Devontae Freeman, and Adrian Peterson. Don't have Todd Gurley in the running back 1 position and have Devontae Freeman in the flex position, because you want to have the flexibility to make changes. So since Todd Gurley, he's playing on Monday Night Football. I forgot to mention that before I mention my example. So Todd Gurley, the Rams, they play on Monday Night Football week 1. Put him in the flex position. So after all the games on Sunday happen, you can have the flexibility to, maybe you don't want Gurley, you can switch it to Antonio Brown, because he play on Monday night too. Or Deshaun Jackson, you can switch it to a wide receiver. It gives you more options compared to like if you had Devontae Freeman, who played 1 o'clock on Sunday in the flex position, and then it locks up, and then you wait for Monday night and you got Gurley. This is for DraftKings. The only way you can switch Gurley out is with a running back, because you have him in the running back position. So I hope y'all was feeling what I was saying right there. Basically, when you make your complete lineup on DraftKings for that flex position, whatever player in your lineup game starts the latest, whether it's Sunday at 4 o'clock, Sunday night game, or a Monday night game, whoever game starts the latest, plug them in that flex position, because it gives you flexibility to, edit your lineup and, choose from players from a wide receiver, running back, and tight end with the late swap ability. Now on FanDuel, the whole lineup locks up once the games kick off, so you can't do that. So I definitely advise you to use that strategy when playing on DraftKings in that flex position. Other things about lineups. A lot of times when you're making lineups and you're trying to pick a player, it's like a toss-up. You'll have a player, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, you'll have maybe somebody like Adrian Peterson and LaShawn McCoy, both in good matchups, both the same price. Are quarterbacks. You have Aaron Rodgers and you have Tom Brady, both in good matchups, both at the same price. In my opinion, to make the determining factor in those toss-ups, one thing you can consider, which guy is playing at home. That's one thing that could help you make a decision. If you're playing in tournaments, definitely use this. Which guy is going to be less owned, or which guy is not as popular? Choose that one, because it's better for tournaments. I think that's about it for all I got for when you have a toss-up between players. But just for your lineup in general, definitely look at players playing at home, because I feel that in the NFL, home field advantage is a big thing. So when you're trying to make those tough decisions, look for players playing at home. Definitely, I don't really look at the Vegas point spreads per se, but definitely consider how competitive a game is going to be, because just like in the NBA, if the game's a blowout, then key players won't play a big role late in the game. So look for games that are competitive, when you plugging in players in your lineup. Also, from a fantasy perspective, daily fantasy perspective, look for games with high point totals. Everybody remember the game last year between the Giants and the Saints, when they just both went off and all the offenses scored. Eli and Drew Brees throwing touchdown passes all day. So look for games that's going to be high scoring. Just thinking about week 1, the Saints and the Raiders, that should be a high scoring game. But if you're into looking at Vegas odds, look for the games with high point totals, because it would translate into good fantasy production as well. I think that's about all the tips and strategies I can think of right now as far as lineup building. Another thing I wanted to talk about, slate selection, is very, very important. Now, FanDuel and DraftKings, they put a bunch of different slates on there because they're trying to make as much money as they can. They have Thursday through Sunday slates, Thursday through Monday slates, 1 o'clock only slates, afternoon only slates. They even have slates that starts on Monday night and goes through Thursday night. My point is they have a lot of slates, and this is what I wanted to say. Those Thursday night slates. Now, this is site specific. Now on FanDuel, I would say don't play those Thursday night slates. The ones that start Thursday that go through Sunday or Monday. And the reason is because unless you have most of your lineup with players from that Thursday night game, I would advise you not to do it. And that's because, say for example, you create a lineup, and we're going to use week 1 as an example, and you only use maybe just Cam Newton, and then the rest of your lineup is players from Sunday and Monday night. On FanDuel, once the Thursday night game kick off, all the players lock up. So between Friday, Saturday, all the way up to Sunday, if there's an injury in practice or if something changes, you can't make any adjustments to your lineup. So unless you just want to play risky like that, I say on FanDuel, just kind of fade the Thursday night slates and just wait till Sunday, because they don't allow you to make any adjustments, and a lot of things can happen from Thursday to Sunday, especially if all your players in your lineup play on Sunday and Monday. Hope y'all understood that point. Now, the difference is DraftKings is totally different. I do like playing Thursday night slates on DraftKings, and that's because of the late swap ability. So I'm gonna use week 1 for example. So for Thursday night, you play on DraftKings. You put somebody from the Panthers, Cam Newton, and maybe Kelvin Benjamin in your lineup, and they lock up. But then, the rest of your lineup, you can make adjustments to it up until Sunday. So for DraftKings, it's better to do Thursday slates because you have the ability to make late swaps all the way up until Sunday. So I definitely want to point that out. A lot of y'all probably already knew that. Another thing about slate selection. Okay, we all make lineups for the main slate. So say you create a lineup. You create a lineup for the main slate, and you realize after you create your lineup, everybody in your lineup play in 1 o'clock games. You should just enter that lineup in a 1 o'clock only slate. So then the games outside of the 1 o'clock games don't push you out the standings. So once you make your lineup for the main slate, place that lineup in slates that's conducive to the game times of everybody in your lineup. I hope that makes sense. For example, I'll use week 1 because that's the week coming up. You make a lineup for the main slate, and it doesn't have nobody on Monday night. You don't have nobody from the Steelers and the Redskins game or the 49ers in the Rams game. Everybody in your lineup plays on Sunday. So, in my opinion, you should just put that in a Sunday only contest, because this happens a lot. You have a good lineup. Your lineup be turning up. You'll be in the money. And then you don't have nobody from Monday night. And then the Monday night games play. Those 2 games play on Monday night. And then you see yourself fall out the money. And it's because you ain't have nobody from Monday night. So if you create a lineup and you don't have anybody from Monday night, consider playing that lineup in Sunday only slates. If you create a lineup and everybody in your lineup is in the 1 o'clock games, consider playing that lineup in a 1 o'clock only slate. Even though you was trying to make something for the main slate, play it for the 1 o'clock only slate. I hope y'all feeling what I'm saying with this, because this really does help out, because you'll notice a lot. You be in the money, and then all your players play, and then later on when the late games play, the Sunday night football and the Monday night football play, you fall out the money. So just play your lineups conducive to the game times of the players in your lineup. I think that's a great strategy to use. And I think that's about it. We got a week left. It's September 1st. So next week I'm gonna come out with a video talking about my favorite plays for week 1. I'm really excited. I'm really anxious, but we got some preseason games tonight, so I just wanted to throw out some tips and strategies that I feel can be helpful. Lastly, I just want to, if y'all didn't know, they do have some free fantasy games you can play and win some good prizes. On ESPN, they got a pigskin pick'em game where you just pick the winner of each game. They also have an eliminator challenge where you pick one team to win each week. Have some cool prizes. Also on NFL.com, they have some games. The Perfect Challenge, some of y'all probably aware of. They have a weekly pick'em game. So definitely check those out, because I'm playing those, and you can win some pretty good prizes. But that's about it for my NFL preview video, my tips and strategies. As always, thank you to everyone who's taking the time out to watch this video. Thank you to everyone who subscribed to the YouTube channel. We're up to about 45 or 46 subscribers. Thanks to everyone who's joined the Facebook group. Welcome. Hashtag be the best DFS. Thank you to everyone who's following the Twitter account at be the best DFS. And thank you to everyone who's following the Instagram page at be the best DFS. I got a baseball lineup. I've been struggling. No excuses. You know what I say. I count the wins as blessings, and the losses just teach lessons. So hopefully I can win something tonight. But football is right around the corner, and I'm definitely excited. I'm expecting to be successful, win some money. Hopefully you all can win some money as well. If you like the video, please subscribe, tell people about it. Search hashtag be the best DFS on all social media outlets. And to everyone who's playing the MLB slate tonight, good luck. Hope y'all win some money. And like always, I'll leave y'all with what I always leave y'all with. Try to be the best tonight. All right, I'm out.